President Donald Trump gives an ultimatum.
We are very unhappy, I am.
To Russia and Vladimir Putin, Caplin News is live with more at our DC bureau. Search and recovery continues.
Half of the states of the United States are providing resources.
After heavy rain temporarily halted rescue efforts in central Texas. And a daring rescue.
I could see the family were huddled up on the bow of their boat.
By the dynamic duo of father and son. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Good morning, South Florida. I'm Paula Sirignano.
And I'm Jose Carlos Rodriguez. Today is Tuesday, July 15th, 2025.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
President Trump announcing a change to end the war between Russia and Ukraine. President Trump is taking a new approach to the war in Ukraine, arming Kyiv through NATO and warning Russia to make peace or face major economic consequences.
Our DC Bureau reporter Laura Iglesias reports live from Washington, D.C. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning. Yes, here at the White House, President Donald Trump took a firmer stance on Ukraine, announcing billions of weapons to NATO allies and giving Russian President Vladimir Putin 50 days to agree to a ceasefire or face steep tariffs.
The U.S. will sell around $10 billion in weapons to NATO countries, including missiles and air defense systems. Those allies like Germany, Finland, and the U.K. will send the equipment directly to Ukraine.
So if I was Vladimir Putin today and hear you speaking about what you were planning to do in 50 days and this announcement, I would reconsider whether I should not take negotiations about Ukraine more seriously than I was doing at the moment, if I was Vladimir Putin. But when I'm Ukraine, I think this is really great news for that. So I really want to thank you for that.
The president's announcement comes as frustration grows over Russia's continued attacks on Ukrainian cities. The move marks a clear shift from Trump's earlier reluctance to get directly involved in the war.
We are very unhappy, I am, with Russia, but we'll discuss that maybe a different day. But we're very, very unhappy with them, and we're going to be doing very severe tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. Tariffs at about 100%. You'd call them secondary tariffs.
The White House says that the 50-day deadline is aimed at forcing Russia to the negotiating table, while giving Ukraine the largest boost in military aid since the war began. With the clock ticking and tensions rising, world leaders are watching what Moscow does next. Reporting from Washington, D.C. for Caplin News, I'm Laura Iglesias.
New developments are emerging from Florida's controversial immigration facility known as Alligator Alcatraz. This week, lawmakers and advocacy groups are raising new concerns, not only about the treatment of the detainees, but also about plans to expand the program to another site. Caplin News reporter Stephanie Tena is in the control room with more.
Today, a leaked document reveals that at least 250 of roughly 700 detainees at the Everglades site, known as Alligator Alcatraz, have no criminal charges, held solely on civil immigration violations.
This update comes just days after Congresswoman Devin Wasserman-Schultz and fellow Democratic lawmakers toured the center. They returned with troubling accounts describing it crowded, unsanitary conditions, and allegedly the state staged the visit.
First of all, I want to talk about the establishment of this facility and make it very clear that we were directly told that the state was asked by the Department of Homeland Security to create a facility to detain ICE detainees. The governor decided to put that facility they were requested to create by DHS here. Could have put it anywhere. They decided to put it in the middle of the most brutal conditions in the middle of a swamp in the Everglades.
Wasserman-Schultz says detainees are living in cages with report of bug-infested meals, bright lights on overnight, and a lack of access to legal counsel.
Let's be clear, throughout this entire tour, it was repeated over and over that the state is working hand in glove with ICE.
But state officials and Republican leaders are pushing back, saying the criticism is exaggerated and politically motivated.
That the rhetoric does not match the reality from what you guys have been hearing from, I would say, Democrats, especially congressional Democrats. It's actually a very well-run facility. The idea that the detainees are in there and they're in squalid conditions is just not accurate.
Now, Alligator Alcatraz remain operational, but the debate over its future and the rights of those inside is far from over. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Stephanie Tenia.
Search and rescue efforts following the Texas flooding continued yesterday after storms hit part of central Texas over the weekend and in slowing recovery efforts. People from different parts of the country have helped finding dozens of victims that are still missing. Cheryl Hubbard has more on the news.
More than 2,000 people from multiple agencies are deployed to assist in the recovery efforts, according to the Kerr County Sheriff's Office.
Trying to get a handle on things. So just be patient with it as we go forward.
That July 4th flooding that killed at least 132 people, including 27 campers and counselors at Camp Mystic, has touched the nation.
But literally half of the states of the United States are providing resources.
During a news conference Monday, the governor praised the 25 states helping respond to the disaster. But local and federal response efforts are facing increased scrutiny, and officials have yet to explain key details about the critical early hours of the flood.
Dozens of children drowned to death. And some of that has to do with incompetence in the Texas state government and incompetence in the Trump administration.
Commissioners in Kerr County held their first meeting since the catastrophic flooding. While a number of residents offered positive sentiments,
this tragic event has proven the greatness of humanity.
One of the commissioners said others are angry at the county's response.
I've been getting death threats. Can you imagine?
Officials say the road to recovery is likely to be a long one.
How long is it going to take? Who knows? I think we'll still go strong for another month or two, up to maybe 6 months, winding down as we move on.
I'm Cheryl Hubbard reporting.
This morning, a new study reports that climate change is playing a part in creating stronger destructive storms along the East Coast. The study conducted by the University of Pennsylvania predicts there will be fewer nor'easters than any of the storms in the Northeast as the globe gets warmer. But what will impact these storms are wind speed, producing a 6% boost that researchers say will increase a storm's destructive potential by 20%.
Several AI companies will begin to work for the Department of Defense this morning to help out adopt AI. Yesterday, the chief of Digital Artificial Intelligence Office announced contracts with leading AI giants like Google, OpenAI, and Anthropic to help accelerate the use of AI at the federal level. Each company will be awarded $200 million. The goal is to address critical national security concerns.
A Los Angeles judge has ordered prosecutors to explain why Lyle and Eric Menendez should not have their murder convictions reviewed. The brothers filed a habeas corpus petition in 2023, citing new evidence of alleged abuse by their father. A judge has now ordered prosecutors to explain why they shouldn't be granted relief. Earlier this year, they were resentenced to 50 years to life with the possibility of parole, and parole hearings are set for August.
The future of education school budgets is nearly half. The country is tied up in legal battles. It stems from a sudden federal funding freeze and a controversial Supreme Court decision. Our DC Bureau reporter Rosaura Mendoza brings what this could mean for students and educators.
2 weeks ago, the Trump administration notified states that it was withholding nearly $7 billion in education funds. The notice came just 1 day before the states were supposed to get the money. The money had already been approved by Congress and was expected by school districts preparing for the new academic year this fall, and includes money for teacher training and some after-school programs in low-income districts. Now, 24 states and the District of Columbia are suing to get the funds restored. All represent jurisdiction led by Democrats, but the state officials said it has nothing to do with politics. They argued that the president exceeded his powers by freezing funds already approved by Congress, and they considered that unconstitutional.
To support our children and our families, this funding is critical. If this latest federal action goes unchecked, our students, our families, our schools, and our communities will absolutely suffer.
State officials argue that withholding the money has already disrupted school planning, hiring, and budgeting efforts across the country.
President Trump and Department of Education Secretary Linda McMahon have dealt a debilitating blow to our schools, throwing them into chaos just weeks ahead of the first day of school for many districts.
Tensions escalated further just yesterday when the U.S. Supreme Court court said the Trump administration could go ahead and lay off hundreds of education department employees, potentially slowing the release of the funds even more. For Caplin News, I'm Rosaura Mendoza in Washington, D.C.
Well, Jose, one's up because production is now underway for HBO Max's new series.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
You could hear the sirens, you could hear the helicopters, you knew that help was on the way.
A heroic rescue in Florida waters by a father and a son. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
See us dream. See us remember. See us protest.
You matter. Your feelings matter. Your identity matters. Everything about who you are matters.
See us fight back. See us rebuild. See us shatter stereotypes. See us inspire. See us united. See us now.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
River rescue boaters find themselves in a dangerous situation on the water. A family of 5 is saved after a man and his 8-year-old son pulled them away from the flames as their boat caught on fire.
CNN reporter Jax Nicholas Brooks has more details on this heroic act.
So that's what matters. What you're seeing now is a boat fire in the area of Gillington Creek and the St. Johns River on Sunday. The person recording is Michael Schillingford, along with his 8-year-old son Vincent. Before they captured this video, the father and son were about to leave the area when Vincent saw something in the air.
When my son mentioned that there was a boat that was having a barbecue on the back.
Little did he know, the boat was actually on fire with 5 people and their dog on board.
As I looked, I didn't quite see a barbecue. What I saw was more what seemed like engine smoke, and then shortly thereafterwards, we saw fire coming from the stern of their boat.
Schillingford and his son rushed over to help.
I could see the family were huddled up on the bow of their boat.
As they got closer, they realized they had to keep their distance because the fire was spreading.
So I threw out a stern line, and the family with their life vests were able to jump in the water and grab the line and allow me to pull them away from the boat.
Around 12:15 p.m. Sunday, St. Johns County officials arrived at the scene. They put out the fire and helped ensure the family of 5 was safe.
The real thanks that I have are to the families that are prepared and for all the officials that were coming. You could hear the sirens, you could hear the helicopters, you knew that help was on the way.
I am Nicholas Brooks, Action News Jax.
Big celebrations today in the Wizarding World after the long-anticipated Harry Potter series enters production. The production will take place at the Warner Bros. Studios in the United Kingdom, and the series is expected to debut in 2027. The filming of Season 1 will last until next spring, with each of the 7 books making up a season. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry.
Sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew a girl so smart, so responsible, she must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
That's all the times we have for Newsbreak. I'm Jose Carlos Rodriguez.
And I'm Paula Sirignano. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.